Story.
Local beef butchers gather each summer along the Danube River in Bulgaria at the annual Staff Salam Festival. The highlight of the weekend is a salami sword duel, a tradition dating back to 1924 when crosstown rival butchers reportedly drunkenly engaged in a fight involving salami. The modern competition has a few rules. The only requirement is that the participant must make a meter-long salami sword themselves. This year's winner, Vladimir Kostov, who succeeded with a spicy pork salami. One review on TripAdvisor from June 2008 suggests that audience members bring their own breads and fruits, as salami often goes flying into the crowd, so people are able to make their own charcuterie board spreads.
All right, next we'll hear from Gabe.
All right. On a lake in western Germany, a woman tentatively climbs into a huge, hollowed-out pumpkin. No, this isn't part of some obscure German fairy tale you've never heard of. It's a scene from Krevelschoffer Lake's annual pumpkin race this year. The contestants paddle across the lake in giant pumpkins that weigh at least 550 pounds, or more for heavier participants. It was hard fighting against the wind to get anywhere, but when you're in the groove, it works. I imagined it would be more difficult, said competitor Malin Matuszczyk. The fastest racers in 6 categories get €230 in prize money, or $340 if they grew the pumpkin themselves, enough to buy a boat for next year.
And finally, Peter's story.
Each year, the British town of Fenny Bentley, Derbyshire, holds the World Toe Wrestling Championships. This sport involves competitors interlocking their big toes and attempting to press each other's foot to the floor, just like in the more well-known arm wrestling. According to Alan Nasty Nash, who won the World Toe Wrestling title a staggering 15 times, this is one of the most violent sports out there. I've beaten hundreds of people and done damage to all sorts of people. Broken kneecaps, toes. I would say I have the world's strongest toe. Matches are played out of a best of 3 and normally last between 3 to 4 minutes, but people only last a couple seconds against me.
All right, so Hannah, which is the fake sport? Is it Shelby's story of Bulgarian salami dueling, Gabe's tale about German pumpkin rowing, or Peter's story about British toe wrestling?
I think the toe wrestling one is fake.
You think that one's fake? No, it actually is real.
All right.
Yeah, Alan Nasty Nash is really out there breaking toes and kneecaps. So that was good work, Shelby. You stumped her. But, you know, as a consolation prize, I'll still give you the prize because I think it's probably more of an embarrassment than really a prize. So, because of the pumpkin rowing question, we got a pumpkin hat. Yeah. Yeah. Here, let's take a picture.
Happy Halloween, Hannah.
Hey UC3P listeners, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Nick.
In the United States, public faith in the military remains sky high, while trust in other government institutions sinks to an all-time low.
At the same time, fewer than 1% of Americans will ever serve in the armed forces, and the cultural divide between active duty troops and the civilian population continues to widen.
UC3P presents a new series, Thank You for Your Service, where we take a deep dive into the complex world of civil military affairs. Join us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts as we explore how our professional military institution relates to the society it serves.
Well, welcome back to Have You Heard the UC3P News Quiz? So you may have closely followed the recent midterm elections and heard about the blue wave that resulted in the Democrats taking back the House and a number of governor seats, though notably not the Senate. Here are some stories about the midterms that you may not have heard about. Peter?
Oh.
You look very surprised.
I am.
All right. Well, let's see if you know this one. Denver Riggleman, a member-elect of the House representing Virginia's 5th district, won his election despite which accusation by his Democratic opponent? Was it A, that he stole someone else's identity, B, that he practices satanic rituals, or C, that he wrote Bigfoot erotica?
Bigfoot erotica.
It was Bigfoot erotica. You seem very sure of yourself. Hey, are you a connoisseur in that genre?
No. No.
Had you heard the story?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll believe you for now. So her claim was based on a drawing that he posted on Instagram of a drawing of Bigfoot with a black censored bar hanging from its crotch to its knees. He says it was just a joke between his friends, but He is writing a book about people who believe in Bigfoot, though he denied that it contains any erotic content. All right, Gabe. In Arkansas's first congressional district race, this man ran as the Libertarian Party candidate. Was it A, Albert Einstein, B, Elvis Presley, or C, Teddy Roosevelt?
Wow.
Confusing.
Confusing, yeah. I'm going to go with Teddy Roosevelt.
No, it was actually Elvis Presley. He's an actual Elvis impersonator who changed his name legally to Elvis Presley, though that's Elvis D. Presley, not to be confused with the rock and roll legend Elvis A. Presley. I guess that's how he got away with that one. And although he lost to Republican Rick Crawford, he still got over 4,000 votes. Wow. Yeah. Good going for him. All right, Shelby. In Florida, although this candidate lost the Republican primary and was not on the ballot this November, I think it's still worth noting that Bettina Rodriguez Aguilera was endorsed by the Miami Herald, a major newspaper, as a candidate for Florida's 27th congressional district, despite which peculiarity about her? Was it A, that she stated that Jesus told her to run for office? B, that she claimed aliens kidnapped her as a child? Or C, that she believes her house is haunted by the ghosts of Spanish explorers?
It's either B or C, I feel like. What was B again? No, I already forgot.
That she claimed aliens kidnapped her as a child.
I think it's that one, B.
It is that one. That's correct. That's right. Yeah, in fact, she appeared on a Spanish-language TV program to talk about this experience years ago. So you can actually watch her describe how 3 beings took her on board their spaceship and talked to her telepathically.
Oh my gosh.
That's not that weird.
Not that weird? Okay. Back to Peter.
In the lead-up to the 2018 midterm elections, the Blue Uprising PAC supported Democratic candidates committed to the interests of this athletic community. Is it A, cyclists, B, yoga instructors, or C, surfers?
I'm going to say A.
No, it was actually C, surfers.
Oh, that makes sense.
According to William Reinhart, Blue Uprising's founder, Blue Uprising's I Surf, I Vote events are the perfect way for all surfers, conservative, progressive, centrist, whatever, to come together. These events are meant to engage local surfers so they're ready to vote in the best interest of their wave-riding community. All right, Shelby. While Democrats were successful in this election season, there are definitely some Republicans who have overcome adversities to succeed. Duncan Hunter, a current House representative from San Diego, seems to have defeated his upstart Democratic opponent. Yet, he and his wife face one challenge, a federal indictment for stealing more than $250,000 of campaign finance funds for personal use. Which of these was not bought with illegal funds? Was it A, an airline ticket for a pet rabbit, B, outstanding orthodonture bills for their son Duncan Jr., or C, a last-minute purchase of golf shorts?
Of golf shorts?
Golf shorts.
I'm going to say C.
No, that actually appears to have actually happened. No, it was actually the outstanding orthodonture bills. So while orthodonture was not necessary, the Hunters did spend about $700 at a local dentist. To hide this expense, the payment was said to be a charitable contribution to Smiles for Life. I guess you call that lying through their teeth.
There you go.
I'm on a roll. All right, Gabe. Through social media, companies, celebrities, and influencers all called on followers to vote. Which of these is a real tweet from a major breakfast cereal brand reminding followers to vote? Was it A, get out and vote, it's the most magical thing you can do today, by Lucky Charms? B, just like each box is made with 2 scoops of raisins, remember to bring 2 forms of ID if you're registering today, from Raisin Bran? Or C, make sure to vote today, it's great, by Frosted Flakes?
The question is, which one is the real one?
Which one is a real tweet?
I'm going to go, just because I hope that it's true, the Raisin Bran one.
No, it's not. Unfortunately, I did like that one. So shout out to Iszy for coming up with those great fake tweets. No, it was the real one was get out and vote. It's the most magical thing you can do today by Lucky Charms. All right, so next we'll switch things up with a news limerick quiz. I'll start with a news-related limerick, and you'll have to complete it with the correct answer about the news story. So listen for the rhyme. Peter, you always look very surprised and somewhat afraid, so I'll start with you again. Let's have you kick it off with this limerick round about strange but real innovations. If you go to this Chinese city someday soon, you may not find anything different at noon, but just wait till it's night, then you'll notice a bright light. For they're planning to launch an artificial
I don't know.
Rhymes with soon and noon. They're going to have a bright light that's an artificial...
Moon?
Moon, that's right. There you go. Just took a little coaxing. By 2020, the Chinese city of Chengdu is planning to launch a satellite that will boost the glow of the moon on the city to 8 times its current brightness in order to cut back on street lighting costs, which I have no idea how that works, but it sounds incredible.
Sounds expensive.
All right. Gabe, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a new game out you may not know that you can play as you walk to and fro. You can spend all day finding places to pray in this Christian version of the app Pokemon
Go.
Pokemon Go, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was developed by a Catholic evangelical group, and the Pope is reportedly a big fan. So in the game, you're encouraged to pray if you pass a church or a hospital, and instead of finding Pokemon, you find saints who join your evangelization team if you answer their religious questions correctly. Gotta worship them all? All right, Shelby.
Yeah.
Here's the last one. This main chef cooks lobsters up hot. But is this animal cruelty, she thought? So to ease their pain and be more humane, she first gets her lobsters high on...
Hot.
That's right. She does. So Charlotte Gill of Charlotte's Legendary Lobster Pound first tested out the technique of hotboxing a lobster and found that it was much calmer when it was returned to its tank. As a reward for being the first lobster guinea pig, she returned it into the ocean. So I imagine it now spends its time telling the rest of its family to chillax, dude. Okay, guess that one didn't go over as well. All right, well, good work, guys. So Patrick, how did the standings look?
Well, Jason, it's neck and neck, except for Gabe.
Oh, okay.
Peter and Shelby are currently tied in first with 4 points, and Gabe sits alone in third with 2 points.
All right, well, it's...
However, it is still early. It is still early. Gabe could come back.
All right.
Yeah, it's still anyone's game, that's right. We'll have one final super round of animal-themed trivia on this episode of Have You Heard, the UC3P News Quiz. So, Gabe,
Yes.
We'll start with you.
All right, the pressure's on.
Let's see if you can come through. The people of Madrid were recently startled by protests not related to those of Catalonian independence, but to the rights of farmers of what animal? Was it A, sheep, B, cattle, or C, kangaroos?
I'm going to take a risk and say kangaroos.
Really? Let's just pause here and think about this a little bit. You're saying there's Spanish kangaroo farmers.
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna.
Well, it seems like you're determined to stay on your losing streak there. It was actually A, sheep. So shepherds surrounding Madrid staged a protest by driving their flocks through the heart of Madrid. The shepherds claim they still have rights to use ancient migration routes that happen to be in the heart of Madrid. Sorry, no kangaroos in sight. Shelby, if you think students at UChicago are drinking too much, the animals of this Minnesota town are being just as rowdy. Police have reported that these booze hounds have been running into cars and acting confused as of late. Although they're not heading to their local watering hole, they've been causing trouble just the same. Which alcoholic animal is it? Is it A, squirrels, B, birds, or C, deer?
Ooh. They're drinking something?
They're getting drunk.
I feel like they're getting drunk on like some type of berry maybe, so it could be the squirrel or deer. I'm gonna say deer.
No, it's actually B, birds.
Oh!
Yeah.
The one I didn't think it was.
The birds of this Minnesota town have been eating berries, like you guessed, that began to ferment earlier than normal due to an unusual frost. So it's been reported that some of these birds are keeping portraits of Jimmy Carter in their nests in honor of his legalization of home brewing. It's an obscure joke for an obscure question. Thank you. Thanks, Patrick. All right. Peter, you're going to round this one out, the first of 2 rounds here. So most people want to know the food they're eating from their favorite fast food joint is fresh, but just how fresh? In an ironic turn of events, an overturned trailer carrying what delicious animal was found wandering in the drive-thru of a fast food restaurant this past August? Was it cows, A, B, chickens, or C, pigs?
Pig, C.
No. Man, we're stumping you guys left and right.
Dang.
It was A, cows.
Oh.
In the ironic incident, it seems that these cows wanted to ensure the McDonald's